Hello, dear nomad soul. Welcome back to the channel. So, today is going to be a little bit of a different video because I will be showing you my new decks, both tarot and oracle decks that I have recently purchased and not used on videos yet. So this is going to be like an unboxing video, and I know that many of you are actually interested in tarot and oracle cards yourself. So maybe this video will inspire you to look for something else and new for your collection. I do collect tarot and oracle cards. I am very picky actually, and I think that I was a little bit more adventurous with this new purchase. But anyway, I do have 2 oracle decks and 2 tarot decks, and I want to take this lazy weekend day just to spend it with you, just chatting about what I love, which is of course collecting my beautiful card decks. So I will be speaking about many different aspects in this video. What is important for me when I'm looking for a new deck. So it's going to be the build quality, let's say this way, so how the card stock is, the images, the artwork itself, and just basically what has attracted me towards these decks, and if I recommend them to you and for what kind of purpose. So let's start, let's dive into these 4 decks. I believe it's going to be a very beautiful visual journey. I think we are going to start with tarot first. So I'm just going to move these cards a little bit away so that you don't see them at the moment. So for tarot decks, I do have 2 decks. One is the old classics, which is the Crow Tarot, and then this one is a new edition. Actually, it's a new deck. It has been released, I think, like a month ago or 2 months ago, and it's called the Tarot of the Divine, a deck and guidebook. So I think I'm going to start from the Crow Tarot first and then move on to this one. So this is the Crow Tarot. I know that many of you are familiar of this deck. The box is really sturdy. You know, it's that carton box, which is really nice to store your cards. It's not too big. You can keep it in your bookshelf or wherever you're gonna keep them, or you can look for like a nice pouch for them, but like the size is really good, so it's just a classical packaging. And when we open them, I actually haven't opened these cards yet, just remove the plastics, and here how it looks inside. So we do have, this is of course a crow inspired tarot, so every single card has some kind of crow image, and this is actually what has drawn me to this deck because I love animals. I love animal inspired decks, and especially crows. I've been always attracted to birds, and this deck, I had it on my wish list for a really long time, so right now I've just decided to purchase it. So of course it comes with a booklet. Let me just have a quick look on it. Yeah, there is like a page description for each card. It has the keywords, the element, and short instruction. Let's see. So yeah, there is some like introduction into the deck. To be honest, I'm not really a huge fan of these booklets because I do read out of my intuition. So for me, the imagery of the cards is the most important. But I know that for many of you, especially if you're a beginner, it's a really nice start to start reading those booklets, because little by little you can build your knowledge. But for me, it's, I mean, I do have a lot of experience with tarot, so for decks that are, let's say, it's like a classical tarot decks, normally I don't need much information. If it's an indie deck, then yes, I do read a book. So now let's take out the cards. First of all, I always take a look on the backs. Oh, it's flying away like a crow. So to get attracted to a deck, I must look into the backs, because if the backs do not attract me, if they don't call my name, normally I don't purchase deck, because for me aesthetics of the deck is very important. So this one has a very kind of rustic feeling. It's almost like, I don't know, like leaves in here. It's a brown, kind of almost a vintage feeling. It's very simple, but I really like it. It's neutral, and sometimes I just really like neutral bags because it just helps my imagination to open up further. And this is how the images look like. So we do have the full card. I'm not going to speak too much about these cards right now because we have so much to go through, but here are the images of the cards. So here is the Magician. I love the imagery. I think it's very mystical. It's magical. I don't like not necessarily those colorful animal decks because they're sometimes overloaded with information, but this one just has the right details, the right elements. I just really love this card. It's very intuitive, so I believe even for the beginner reader, it's going to be a very easy to pick on the messages because you can clearly see what is happening in the image and your intuition already starts speaking, such as this Imperial card. The crow is sitting on the throne, and you can totally feel the power, strength, masculinity, domination. So it's quite easy to read. So those were, let's say, those lovers card. This is just beautiful imagery. I like it's more almost like a vintage inspired deck. That's why it just really called my attention so much. The Chariot. And let's look for the suits because I love minor arcana as well. So this is the Queen of Wands, Lions, very nice initiative, creativity. This is Knight, Page. Let's see some numbers in here. Okay, so for instance, this is the Eight of Wands. So also I really like that it's a full-on picture and not just symbols of wands, because if you're reading very fast as I do, you just really need to have your imagination triggered. So yeah, as you can see, this is a very, very beautiful deck. Actually, I don't understand why I have waited for so much to get it. I know that it's going to become, I just have a feeling that it's going to become one of my favorite decks, and actually can't wait to use it for the future videos. I really think that you guys are going to enjoy it as well. So for all animal lovers and mystic lovers as well, I believe this deck is a wonderful addition to the journey. And also I used journey on purpose because tarot is a journey. Whichever new deck you get, it's a journey. By the way, I haven't spoken about the cardstock deck, so it's really nice actually. It's not too thin, not too thick, so it's going to be easy to shuffle. I don't think that the cards are going to get destroyed easily. It's not overly shiny, it's almost semi-matte finish. So this is what I also like a lot in the cards. So definitely really nice quality, very nice images, and I just really see how this deck is going to open up my imagination further. So let's move on. I'm going to move this maybe here so you can see the image, very beautiful. This deck I'm really excited about. As you can see, the packaging is just gorgeous. I mean, what can I tell? It's a wonderful package. Actually, I haven't opened this deck yet, so I'm very excited, the same way you are. Every single, like, look at those moon phases. Very feminine deck. So this is a deck by I really don't know how to pronounce, Yoshitani. So it's the artist and the creator of this deck, and this deck was inspired by the deities, folklore and fairy tales from around the world. So when I read this, when I saw this coming, I was immediately drawn to it, and I knew that I'm going to get it because myths and fairy tales about anything in this life is something that really calls my attention. I love reading old stories and mystical stories from the countries around the world, and I really believe that this is a wonderful idea to include so many different cultures and heritage from other countries. So this is a really nice sturdy box. It has almost like a texture to it, so you can hear the sounds. It has like just a normal closure. It's not magnetic. I wish it was magnetic, so it would keep the deck safer, I think. And when we open it, let's see, what do we have? Okay, so we have a book, and this book I will definitely read because, oh, so nice, it has like full colorful images of the cards, description of each, and also the inspiration behind the images. So what kind of fairy tales those are and from which country. So for instance, the Chariot is Three Princesses of Whiteland from Norway, so Norwegian fairy tales. So that is going to be such a nice investigation tool for me, because I'm sure that many of those fairy tales I don't know myself. And those are the cards. My goodness, just look at those bags. Oh, I hope I can get it. It still has like plastic on it. I'm gonna remove it. Just look at this bag. It's just so my aesthetic. When I saw it online, I just knew I'm gonna get it. It's a wonderful, almost teal, blue, greenish shade with the moon phases in here, and it's just such a nice texture as well. It's like also textured the same way the box is, so it's also textured in here. I don't know if you can actually pick up the texture, maybe when there is a light reflection on it. Yeah, so it's really nice. It feels really nice to the touch, and I feel that it's going to be very easy to shuffle it. So that's a huge plus, because it doesn't move so easily in hand. Sometimes with overly shiny decks, they just move around and they fly everywhere, so it's harder to control. Now let's take a look on the images. Just look at the images. They are so beautiful, and I mean, this card is more adventurous for me because I do like classic tarot decks more than anything else. But this one, I don't know, I just really like the images of this artwork, the colors, muted colors, their fairy tale colors. It just opens up to the dreamland, your mind, your sensations, your heart. It opens it up to dream. And I think it's going to be a very aesthetic deck for videos as well, and for clients, because, oh, just look at this card, the Hermit. It's so much symbolism happening in each, and I'm really shocked because I see how much of work has been put into this deck just to find out all the fairy tales, illustrate them, match them to the tarot card meanings. And that's the thing, I mean, even though these cards are quite contemporary made and they are based on fairy tales, it still follows the Rider-Waite system. And even if you are a beginner, I think it's really easy to understand what each card means. Now let's move on to the Minor Arcana, because I really like to see how that looks. Wonderful, just look at this card. This is Ten of Cups. So much is in this card, so much, so many details, so much love. I see a lot of love placed in this deck, and it's just wonderful. It just opens up your creativity, your imagination, and I absolutely enjoy and adore this deck, and I feel like it's going to be one of my favorite ones as well. I really like that it's very diverse. It's using imageries from different countries. It has a lot of like animal inspiration and different ethnic groups inspiration. It's just pure love and pure universal just connection in one deck. So just look at this card. This is so wonderful. So yeah, this was the Tarot of the Divine. I was waiting for it for so long, and I am incredibly happy to see it in my hands. Can't wait to use it in my next videos. And now we're going to move on to the oracle decks. Okay, now oracle decks. One again is an all-time classic, and you see it everywhere on YouTube. Every single pick a card and tarot reader and just any general tarot content, I believe everybody has this one, and I have waited for so long just because of this reason, that it's so popular that I don't know, I just really like my collection to be unique and to have like my personal taste. And when I see deck used in so many different channels, I feel like, oh, so what's special about it? Like, I don't know, it gets too mainstream for me in my view. But somehow when I started like looking again and again on the images of this deck, I have realized that it's going to be actually quite interesting to buy it and see how it works. And actually I ended up being extremely happy about it, and I have already used it in one of my videos because I couldn't wait to open it. So yes, I will cheat a little bit on this video. This card deck I have already opened, reviewed it, but this is my channel, my rules, so can't complain. Anyway, I'm gonna show you how it looks, and this is the one of the newer additions to the oracle production. This is the mystical healing reading cards by Ina Segal, and this is one of the newest oracle decks available, and later on I'm gonna show you the images as well and tell you why it has caught my attention. So now let's look into the Moonology Oracle cards by Jasmine Boland. Let's open it up. It's like the Crowd Tarot, the same kind of card box. Very nice. Also has the booklet, which I have read already, because since those are oracle cards, I always read the book. It has like the images of the cards as well. Really nice explanation. It is really, of course, aligned to the astrology, so it's really nice that it's going to be like really simple messages to astrology, very straightforward. And this is why this deck caught my attention, because I really liked something simple and straightforward, because I truly believe that the real meaning is in the simplicity, and this deck really falls for that. So let's open it up. First of all, the backs of it, the box itself, it's also beautiful. The backs are just beautiful. Those are the moon phases. It's like a really dark bluish violetish color. It's wonderful. It has a matte, almost semi-matte finish. It's not shiny, so it's really beautiful. It's also very easy to shuffle because it is not shiny. And again, cardstock, by the way, the cardstock of the Divine tarot deck was just amazing. I've already told you it's perfect for shuffling, and this one as well is like semi-matte, almost matte finish, and very good quality. So here you have the astrological signs. So for instance, this one says new moon in Capricorn and has an affirmation message, which I have found to be very simple, very straightforward, but at the same time something you just need to hear sometimes, you know, because not everything has to be complicated, and sometimes just the simplest phrases, they just really set you back to your normality, to your natural state where you have to be, and this is what this deck provides. So let's say this one is full moon in Aquarius. Beautiful images. I'm gonna show you several of them. I really like that it's dark night sky in here. It's quite colorful, the moons, but it's not, you know, overwhelming. And these cards are just so cute. I don't know, like when I picked them up, I was like thinking, why? I really now understand why people love them so much. And this is definitely a deck of mass production, which is worth of having, because yes, it is simple, but it is so clear. It is, even the most beginners, I believe this is really beginner friendly because it's so straight on forward. Like look, this one says new moon eclipse, expect powerful change. Well, of course, but sometimes we need to see this to understand, so it's really helpful for readings as well. I have used a lot of this deck for my own readings, and I have found it to be extremely accurate to my situations that I was asking for. And my clients, they love this deck as well. Whenever I take it out, they say, oh yes, use it. So I have it like for a couple of weeks now, but like it got into the favorites already, so definitely worth checking it out. And of course it's a very hyped deck, but it is for something. Like I would say the Wild Unknown is the most hyped up tarot deck that exists, which in my opinion, if you know it, you have watched my video of my tarot and oracle collection, you know that I don't like that deck at all. This one, I definitely understand the hype about it. I love it. I'm gonna use it, not in every single video, but for sure a lot. And now let's move on to the mystical healing reading cards. This is another oracle, which again is a new one, relatively new. I got it because I really liked the mysticism part. If you know me, you know that I'm attracted to some kind of mystical... Oh, okay, it has a magnet closure, which is actually really comfortable. So yeah, you open it this way. So I got this deck because I really like some occult, mystical touch to cards. That's my style. If you follow me for a while, you will know I'm very picky. I don't like, let's say, decks that look like kitsch, or that they are too colorful and they have too many details and they are too modern, or they have pastely, overly pastely, girly colors. I don't like that. I like my cards to be serious. And with all of these cards, even though this one looks like really almost childish sometimes images, they are very serious and they have that mystical touch to them. Crowd Tarot, of course, as well. This oracle deck has the same thing, the same feeling. So this is the book. I actually haven't opened this deck yet, so I'm really excited as well to show you. The book looks quite big. Oh, and it has a full-on picture of the card and a description. So let me just quickly see. Okay, they have very nice actions and spiritual meaning behind the card. So that's going to be a really interesting read for me. Definitely I'm going to read it before starting using it. Here is some kind of promo code, I'm not sure. Okay, here are the cards. The box again is really nice to store them. Those oracle cards are quite big. I do have small hands, as you can see, but it doesn't bother me. Now the backs are really cute. They look like all the letters from the Middle Age, some kind of almost maps or spells. I don't know, it just looks really, really mysterious, and I love this warm tone of the cards. They're really inviting. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, they are inviting me to pick them up. So that was the first sign that I had to get the cards. So as you can see, I first always check the backs because they have to call me. Because when you read cards, like, you never see what is on the other side. You see this is their face and it has to call me, it has to call my name. So definitely this is how I am choosing cards. So those are the messages. The images, as you can see, they are inspired by old paintings, like almost like old style art, which is really like very wisely done, because it does have some elements of both religion but also occult world, and that I really like. It's almost phantasmagorical in a way, and I really enjoy that because it's so, I don't know, it's so mysterious. The messages are really good in this set. Because for instance, this one says break addiction, straightforward but very powerful. Again, power in simplicity. This is what I loved about this deck, and I think it's going to be very spiritual, very deep dive. As you know, I love to go deep in my channel with everything I do, so I think that these messages are going to be just the final touch to any reading that is going to confirm or just add on extra information to any message that comes through. So I really enjoy these images. They are wonderful. They are just, I feel like getting into the new world when I see these images. Actually, they're wonderful. Explore your ancestry. Wow, I love this card. Just look at the image. The messages are just outstanding. They are so straight to the point. They're so deep. Look at this image. I mean, again, I see that this is like a religion mix, but there is so many other things mixed. Like I would say with this card, it's even Kabbalistic images are mixed in here, like occult images, different religions, different belief systems. So that's why I like it so much. It's almost like the Gothic deck. And I used to be a goth when I was a teenager. So for me, when I saw those cards, it's like, yes, this is exactly what I like. And my teenage self would loved this deck to have it. So yeah, basically this was the mystical healing oracle, and I can't wait to use it. It's just beautiful. I'm so excited, can't wait to read the book as well. So yeah, those were my newest cards to my collection. I'm really proud of this collection. I really like the mixture between mystical, vintage looking, a little bit quirky, a little bit here and there. Like this moon is, yes, like a little bit of mainstream, but I really like that this new set kind of covers all the things that I like. And yes, I have been looking for new cards for over a week, investigating a lot, and I'm really happy with my purchase and hope this will help you as well to decide if you want to purchase something new. So now that you have seen the images and you know how I feel about them, maybe this is going to inspire you to get some new cards into your collection. Whenever I watch collection videos, I get with a huge list of new cards I want to get, and then I spend lots of days investigating until I find the ones that I truly feel connected to. And I'm very happy because with these ones I felt an instant connection. So that was it. I hope you have enjoyed and see you next time very soon. Bye bye.